Professor Darkan basically talked about the indigenous basis of development, and then went to Professor Mushtaq, actually say similar things, but he actually made a point of how to organize production. I mean, I'll come to my story of economics. Anytime I took a course and I saw anything related to economics, I quit the course. So for me, I am most ineligible to talk in this forum, but having said that, with a little bit of understanding of things, I mean, one of my Chinese friends took a little bit pity on me, and he recommended a book, Professor Zhu Han Chong, the Economics, the User's Guide. I'm reading that now. I wish I finished it before I came here. I just did 2 chapters only. Okay. And then the World Bank economists actually talked about human dividend, which he said that we are missing out now if we don't make use of the time that we have. And then Mr. Murshid talked about believing in ourselves. We absolutely fully agree on that. Tabid talked about strong institutions. I think I will come back to that again. And also Shamim talked about skill migration, which is so important, and then regionalism. Mr. Abu Yusuf, I thank you for bringing this issue of the NBR and the capacity of the NBR. Not only that, the understanding of the VAT Act of 2012. I mean, I will ask you one thing. Any of you, I'm going to, Professor Derkman, excuse me, I'm going to speak Bangla for 1 minute. Any of you, do you know what is Utpad? No. There is no Dontan at the end. Utpad.
I know.
Yeah, of course, because you're Minister of Finance. You see, I was reading this VAT Act.
Output.
Yeah, that's output tax. Utpad means output. So Utpad Kor means output tax. And I was trying to understand in Bangla. I couldn't understand the Bangla version. I did understand the English version. So I understand when you say that it needs to be really be made more friendly. Mr. Nahin Razak talked about national skill development and focused on informal sector. I could not agree more actually. So, and Ms. Roy talked about looking at Bangladesh. I'm happy that you said that. And also, the issue is that our countries are capable enough. I mean, you have skilled labors, but you need to know how to use that. And thank you so much. I mean, you're all eloquent. I am not going to be so eloquent, but I'm going to share a little bit of experience that I had in the last few years. I worked in one World Bank project called the CMCA, Case Management and Court Administration. That project started in early 2000, late 90s. The whole idea was to bring FDI in Bangladesh. One of the problems, the research at that point showed that a huge issue that we have is in the legal sector. I am a lawyer, so I'll talk about law a little bit. In the legal sector, the problem is if you go to the court, it takes around years, 10 years, 5 years, 20 years or more to resolve an issue. Then the World Bank came up with a project that, okay, can we do something different for the investors only for the foreign investors? A court would be focused that if they can do something on that. And then they did a baseline research and everything. And we found out about our backlogs and everything. The courts have done a good job looking at the backlog. But unfortunately, the result of the research was that no, we could not actually do anything focused only on foreign investors because it could be discriminatory. So then we started focusing on arbitration. Unfortunately, again, I am having to do arbitration, which is taking like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. The whole idea of arbitration was it should be finished in 6 months. And now in America, there's this concept of basketball arbitration. I think that's something we can incorporate. That would be something very good if we could do looking forward. One other thing that I would like to ask is that because you have the private sector is here, the government sector is here, the government is here, experts are here. is that we are a country, we have excelled in garment sector, and then someone said that we have done so much good in garments. I mean, Tawhid said that, I think. But the other issue, other things that we export, it's not good enough. Now, I would, as a politician, I would like to focus a little bit differently on the issue that India and China are our two neighbors, and then we have good connectivity as well. With India, I don't know how many borders we have. Probably at least, I know at least of 12, could be more. And with China, we are opening up through Gangtok, I understand. So that's also great. Why can't Bangladesh think of few products, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, that we can export to India and China? I know that they're taking our garments now. India and China both are taking our garments. Both are taking our leather goods a little bit. But if we could come with some products which are very indigenous to Bangladesh, which both China need and India need, that would be great. We are talking about 200 crore people, or more actually, 300. It's around 3 billion people. So that, I think, for Bangladeshis and for Bangladesh, that would be a good thing. The other thing, don't curse me for saying this actually, but what I'm going to say is democracy and economy, are this related at all? That's also something we need to focus a little bit probably. So democratic, if you're talking about institutions, if you're talking about developing institutions and everything, then there probably is, except for China, all other stories that we have known, democracy and economics is probably related, as far as I've understood from my readings. And also the strong institutional capacity, if you talk about that, then we have to let NBR act independently. We have to let the SEC, Anti-Corruption Commission, act independently. We have to let police act independently. We have to let everyone act independently. All the and the business influence in legislation, it's not something new in Bangladesh. It's a global phenomenon. It's always going to be there, but there is always going to be a negotiation between the government and the business community and the people who drive that force. What's important for us is to educate ourselves as politicians, as policymakers, to negotiate and do that negotiation in a way that people ultimately benefit and our countries benefit. And yeah, at the end, I saw something in India in 1991 when I visited India first as a student, that to be a proud Indian, you have to be a proud citizen of the world. You have to be a proud citizen of India. That was probably the Chief Minister of India at that time said, Chief Minister of Bengal, Jyoti Basu. He said that. So I think with Mr. Murshid, I completely agree that we have to believe in ourselves. And I think we have done a good job so far in 50 years. Our cricket team has really made us proud. And I think our garment sector is known everywhere. And to share a personal experience, in places, if you go as a tourist now, anywhere in the world, you will find Bangladeshis actually. Wherever you go, you will find Bangladeshis there as tourists. So that shows that we have actually gone out. We have reached to a level where we are not there in 1971 when we got our independence. But we can do much better. That's what I'm trying to say, inshallah. Thank you so much, Abhi, for this opportunity.